All right, ready for today's deep dive.
Let's go.
We are talking about something out of this world, literally.
Out of this world.
We are going to space. Space suits.
Oh, cool.
Those suits astronauts always wear.
Yeah.
They make it look so easy, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, just scrolling through space, no big deal.
Floating around.
Exactly. But then I saw the price tag for one of those suits, and let me tell you,
Oh, no.
yeah, not pretty.
How much are we talking?
$12 to $15 million per suit.
Whoa.
Yeah, whoa is right. That's actually what our listener wanted to know more about.
Makes sense. $1 million question, literally.
Right. They asked what on Earth, or should I say off Earth, makes those suits so expensive.
Good question.
So we did some digging.
Ain't it?
It's wild. It's way more than just, some fancy fabric and a helmet. Oh,
Yeah.
way more. It's like engineering a miniature spacecraft.
That's a good way to think about it, actually. A tiny spacecraft, but for one person.
Exactly. And it has to do everything a spacecraft does, right?
Yeah.
Provide oxygen, control the temperature. It's life support on a suit.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to be able to breathe, stay warm, not boil in the sunlight.
It's kind of blowing my mind, honestly. It's like we take all this stuff for granted here on Earth, right?
Totally.
But in space, every little thing, every breath of air, every degree of temperature,
Yeah.
it's all got to be artificially maintained by this suit.
Yeah, and all that engineering, all that complexity, that's a huge part of the cost.
Okay, yeah, I'm starting to get it. It's not like you can just, call a repair person if something breaks out there.
Exactly.
Speaking of things breaking, space itself seems kind of dangerous, you know?
Understatement.
No kidding. So what are these suits actually protecting against up there?
Think of, like the worst hazards imaginable, all rolled into one.
Oh, great.
You've got micrometeoroids, which are basically tiny, super fast space bullets.
Mm-hmm.
Then massive temperature swings. Hundreds of degrees difference between being in the sun and the shade.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the radiation, constantly bombarding everything.
Yeah, space does not sound fun. Okay, so how do you design something that can handle all that?
It all starts with the right materials.
Yeah.
We found this list, and some of the names are wild. Nomex, Kevlar.
Kevlar, like bulletproof vests.
Exactly.
No.
And get this, Mylar.
Hold on, Mylar, you mean like birthday balloons?
Yep, that's the one. Turns out it's incredible at reflecting heat. Crucial when you're dealing with crazy temperature swings.
Okay, that is kind of cool, actually. But back up for a second. Kevlar, in a spacesuit, for those space bullets you talked about.
Right. It's all about layers. Each layer with a specific purpose, but they all have to work together to keep that astronaut safe.
Like a super high-tech onion. But instead of making you cry, it keeps you alive in the vacuum of space.
Something like that.
So you've got your indestructible temperature-controlled space onion all ready to go.
Yeah.
How do they actually test these things?
Yes. Oh, yeah. They don't just, hand them to an astronaut and say, good luck.
Right, of course not.
It's intense. Vacuum chambers, temperature extremes. They even blast them with radiation.
Wow. To simulate that space environment?
Yeah, gotta be sure it works.
Totally makes sense. But now I'm even more confused. They go through all that. No wonder each suit costs $12 million.
I know, right?
But, hold on. Don't they make these suits for, all the different astronauts?
They do.
So how do they make sure one size fits all?
Good question. They don't.
They don't.
Each one is custom made for the astronaut.
Whoa, seriously. Bespoke spacesuits.
You got it. It's all about that perfect fit. If a suit's too loose or too tight, it could be really dangerous.
I bet. Imagine trying to do, important space stuff and your suit's all bunched up.
Exactly. And one of the trickiest parts to get right is the gloves.
Gloves. What's so hard about making space gloves?
Well, they can't be too bulky. Astronauts need to be able to use their hands, right? Fine motor control and all that.
Yeah, to, push buttons and things.
Exactly. But those gloves also have to protect against those micrometeoroids in extreme temperatures we were talking about. It's a tough balance.
Space gloves. I never thought about it like that.
There's a lot to think about when it comes to spacesuits.
Clearly. I'm learning so much. But I did have one more thing I wanted to ask you about. Our listeners specifically mentioned the future of spacesuits.
Oh, right. Well, get ready because what we've been talking about, yeah, that's old news compared to what they're working on now.
Wait, really? Are they, adding jetpacks? Or lasers?
Not yet, but hey, it's space. Anything's possible. But seriously, think about where we're going in space. To Mars. For longer missions. Further than ever before.
That's going to be tough on those suits.
No, those suits won't cut it. We need a whole new type of spacesuit for that.
Because of that dust on Mars. I thought you were kidding when you said it was a big deal.
Oh, no, it's a big deal, all right. Martian dust is no joke. It gets everywhere. And it's not like Earth dust. This stuff is reactive. Could mess up the suit, the habitat, even the astronauts themselves.
Wow. Okay, so what are they doing about it?
Well, for starters, they're designing these super advanced filtration systems. Ways to keep the dust out of the suit completely, like a completely closed system.
That sounds hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
And that's not the only problem they have to solve. Missions further from Earth. That means longer trips, less support.
Oh, right. They can't just like pop back to Earth if something goes wrong.
Exactly. So these new suits, they have to be even more independent, even more reliable. The life support systems, the emergency backups, they have to be tougher, smarter.
So like each suit is practically its own spaceship.
Exactly. Their own little self-contained life support pods. And it gets wilder.
Wilder.
They're
Yeah.
talking about building and biomonitoring systems. So imagine like sensors woven into the fabric of the suit itself
Sensors to do what?
to monitor the astronauts' vital signs,
Yeah.
their heart rate, maybe even their brain activity,
Ah.
all in real time.
Whoa. So mission control will know if something is wrong even before the astronaut does.
That's the idea. Early warning systems to keep them safe on those longer, riskier missions.
That's amazing. But all this new tech, it's got to be expensive, right? Even more than $12 million.
Yeah, these things don't come cheap. But we're talking about cutting-edge technology here. Pushing the limits
Yeah.
of what's possible, that's always going to be pricey.
I guess that makes sense. But are there any ways they're trying to, make them less expensive?
They are. They're looking into making the suits more sustainable.
Sustainable. How do you make a spacesuit sustainable? It's not like they're made of plastic, right?
No, but think about it. What if they could recycle
Recycle what?
everything? Sweat, waste products, maybe even generate their own oxygen. A completely closed-loop system right there in the suit.
Like a little mini Earth?
Kind of. It's still early days, but if it works, it could be huge. It can make space travel cheaper, less wasteful, and way more efficient.
Wow. That's incredible. So even though these new suits will be more expensive up front, they're trying to find ways to make them last longer and use fewer resources. That's amazing. It's incredible to think about all the lessons they're learning with every new suit they design.
Absolutely. Every mission teaches them something new.
It's like they're always getting better, always pushing the boundaries.
They have to. Space isn't getting any easier to explore.
It's funny. We started this whole thing because our listener was wondering why spacesuits are so expensive.
Right. 12 million bucks a pop.
Yeah. But now I'm sitting here thinking, they're priceless.
I know, right? When you think about all the work, the technology,
All the brilliant minds that have to come together to make just one.
it really makes you appreciate the ingenuity of it all.
Absolutely. I feel like we went from sticker shock to just, total awe.
I get that.
And, I hope our listener feels the same way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to it, spacesuits, they're more than just a piece of equipment.
They're kind of symbolic, aren't they?
Yeah. They represent exploration, pushing boundaries, the best of humanity.
We're talking about taking this, squishy human body and saying, okay, now go exist in this completely hostile environment.
And not just exist, right? Work, do experiments, build things. It's incredible.
It really is. So as we wrap up here, is there one big thing you hope our listener takes away from this deep dive? One lasting thought.
That's a good question. I guess it would be this. Next time you see a picture of an astronaut in a spacesuit, remember it's not just a suit.
What do you mean?
I mean, it represents so much more than that. It's the result of decades of work, the culmination of all those failures and breakthroughs, a testament to human ingenuity.
That's a great way to put it.
And who knows, maybe someday all those brilliant minds will figure out how to make them a little less expensive.
You're probably right. A listener can dream, can't they? So, to our amazing listener who asked about the cost of spacesuits, we hope this deep dive gave you a new appreciation for these incredible feats of engineering. And until next time, keep exploring.